Little Red Riding Hood's Adventure. Once upon a time, in a cozy village nestled between tall, green forests, there lived a sweet little girl named Red Riding Hood. She was known for her beautiful red hood, which her grandmother had lovingly made for her. Red Riding Hood loved her grandma dearly and often visited her with a basket of goodies. One sunny morning, Red Riding Hood's mother called her and said, "My dear, your grandma isn't feeling well. Would you be a kind girl and take this basket of fruits, cakes, and her favorite flowers to her cottage in the woods?" Red Riding Hood happily agreed and set off on her journey. She skipped along the winding path through the lush forest, feeling the warm sun on her cheeks. Birds sang melodious songs, and colorful butterflies danced around her. However, lurking in the shadows, there was a sly and cunning wolf. He had heard about Red Riding Hood's visit to her grandma's cottage and hatched a plan to trick her. "Ah, what a tasty treat she will be," the wolf thought as he followed her quietly. As Red Riding Hood walked deeper into the woods, she noticed some beautiful wildflowers and couldn't resist picking a few for her grandma. She lost track of time and wandered from the path deeper into the forest. The wolf, seeing his chance, rushed ahead and reached Grandma's cottage first. He knocked gently on the door. "Who is it?" asked Grandma from her bed. "It's me, Red Riding Hood. I've brought you some treats," replied the sly wolf, trying to imitate Red Riding Hood's voice. Grandma, who was feeling weak, didn't suspect a thing. She said, "Come in, dear." The wolf entered the cottage and, in a flash, gobbled up poor Grandma. Then, he put on her nightcap and slid into her bed, waiting for Red Riding Hood to arrive. Meanwhile, Red Riding Hood realized she had wandered too far. She retraced her steps and finally reached her grandma's cottage. She knocked on the door. "Come in, dear," the wolf called out, still trying to sound like Grandma. Red Riding Hood entered the cottage and, upon seeing her grandma, she said, "Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf. Red Riding Hood grew suspicious and said, "Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," replied the wolf, growing impatient. Finally, Red Riding Hood exclaimed, "Oh, Grandma, what big teeth you have." The wolf couldn't hide his intentions any longer. With a growl, he leaped out of the bed, revealing his true self. But just in time, a group of kind woodcutters who had heard Red Riding Hood's cry for help burst into the cottage. They chased the wolf away and rescued Grandma. From that day on, Red Riding Hood learned to stay on the path and never speak to strangers in the woods. She and her grandma lived happily ever after, grateful for the bravery of the woodcutters. And so, the tale of Little Red Riding Hood became a story of caution and the importance of being cautious when dealing with strangers, especially in the deep, dark woods.
Bedtime Wonderworld. Subscribe now for more interesting videos that will spark curiosity and inspire your imagination.